Sir,
Please,
this is Dr. S.R. Naik from KMC. My question is, has our democracy failed? One. And do we need a different system? That's all. Short and sweet question. Different system means, do we need a dictator, an emergency, or a military ruler? Thank you.
You really want Rahul Gandhi back, don't you? No, I think we are a functional democracy, despite of what many foreign media might say. We are a functional or approaching autocracy or things of that sort. You know, everyone says. And someone famously said democracy is the least of all other evils that are available to us. We certainly must not go towards dictatorship, absolutely not. Because even though in the short term, people may say that you have a benevolent dictator, i.e. who's thinking of the country. Sir, in the long term, there is no such thing as a benevolent dictator. China, yes, the GDP per capita is 5 times ours. But at the end of the day, the most precious commodity that any person can have, from the richest to the poorest, is the ability to speak one's mind, freedom of speech. That, as it is, has been curtailed in our country. If we go towards dictatorship, it would be completely curtailed, as we saw what happened during the emergency. For 2 years, we were under a dictatorship. But more important than that is the question I have been repeatedly asking. That the politicians have failed us. People have almost taken that, in their stride. Honestly, people have. And I can give you so many proofs that people have. Appeasement is taken in our stride. We don't mind that anymore. I mean, you have the Congress appeasing the Muslims. We recently had the BJP promising people who vote for them a free trip to Jerusalem, all the Christians of Nagaland. This is the BJP. So every party is doing it. The question is, when our highest institution fails us and our Supreme Court is failing us time and again, who do we knock? That is the issue. We can knock on the parliament. If you don't like this government, you throw it out. But if you don't like a Supreme Court decision, what do? How do I call for the arrest of the ex-Chief Justice who stayed the farm laws? I ideally would want him to be arrested for what he did. But I would be arrested for saying that. I mean, you had Mr. Badri, a very well-known political commentator and a publisher in Chennai. All he said was, rather rhetorically, that the present Chief Justice of India should be handed a gun and transported to Manipur to solve the issue there. The next day, 5 a.m., police barged into his house and arrested him. For 10 days, he was in jail. This is the country we live in. Still, we say we are a functional democracy because we have institutions that work, but for how long? We have to focus on the institutions rather than the government, because the governments, believe me, will come and go. The governments, all said and done, we may say that the government has brainwashed millions of people into voting for them. All that is rubbish. We've seen what happened in Karnataka. We've seen what happens in many other places where Congress strongholds one day become BJP strongholds the next. Ultimately, the nation would move on. The politicians are afraid of the people. But the judges aren't. That's the problem.
That's a forthright answer. I think Mr. Sriyan.